Welcome back to the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast. My name is Jessica, and I am your host today and every day. This is a knitting podcast. Thatcher's going to be joining us today. This is episode 39, and today is June 15th. It is Monday. I was all set to record during nap time, and then we're talking to the iPad. The two little ones did not coordinate naps today, so that didn't happen. So here we are. We have two little ones awake. Thatcher here is 2. He just turned 2 in May. And Mabel, the baby, is on the floor playing with toys, and she is 8 months. So, if there are distractions, if the tripod gets hit and the video wobbles, that is why. So, do you want to talk to the iPad? Yeah? Should we show them our knitting? Yeah? The knitting? And the yarn? Oh, should we talk about what Mama's wearing? So, today I'm wearing a sweater, a shirt. It's a linen shirt that I knit almost 2.5, almost 3 years ago now, when I was doing IVF to conceive Thatcher. I knit it, I forget what the yarn is. It's on my Ravelry page. On Ravelry, my handle is Sergeant Griff's Girl, so it's SGTGRIFFS Girl, GIRL, and I have most of my older projects linked there. The pattern is called Perkins Cove, and it is just a linen. It has some drop stitches, knit at a really open gauge, so it's pretty see-through. But yeah, it's super hot here. Well, super hot for coastal California. So I thought it was a good day to wear this shirt. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. Alright, can I put you down, bud? Okay. Today I do not have any finished objects to show you because all of my projects, don't touch it, Buck, are large projects, and I started them all this past week. So it's been a week since I recorded last, and I cast on 3 new items to show you guys today. So let's start with the first one. And this one, I was trying to see if the bag had a name on it. Oh yeah, it's in my Naughty Gnome Crafts bag. And this is the Sorel sweater. So it is, how to get the yarn. It is 2 strands held together. So it's supposed to be mohair and fingering. I'm doing alpaca and fingering. So it's not as fuzzy, but it still gets the same effect. Are you going to show them? Here, you sit here and show them. Yeah, that's the purple alpaca. And I'm holding it together with 3 different fingering colors of purple. You're going to show that one too. So that it'll fade. Because I'm trying to use yarn from my stash, and I don't have sweater quantities really. So I don't think I have any. Oh yeah, here. Okay. Here. I'm going to put you down for just a second, and I'm going to get this one. So this is all I have of the first skein. We're now on the second skein, and it's gonna go, that just still changed you. It's gonna be like that. I wonder if I put this down, if that would be better. I thought maybe since it was the afternoon. Ah, that's so much better. Okay, so it's these 3 like this, they'll fade. So I'm on this one now, I'm done with this one. And, Thatcher, should we show them the sweater?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Where's the sweater? You hold that yarn, and Mama hold this. Oh, really? Sorry. We might have to pause and go attend to Mabel. But this is the sweater. Look at that, guys. So, since the first color was so light, and I'm holding it together with the dark purple alpaca, it is very marled looking, but I like it way better than what I showed last week, my first option. I cast on with a different color combo, and that was way too marledy. So this, I think, is perfect. It'll get less marled as it gets darker, but it has this really fun dip stitch here. Thatcher's pulling out all my yarn from, okay, Bud, can you put it back? Put the reds back in there, please. So Mabel, it's like this, and then it looks like it's all purled. But you end after you finish the dip stitches, you turn it inside out and you reverse, so then you're knitting it inside out. So okay, we'll be back. Okay, let's try this again. Sorry guys. So Mabel's had a bottle, she's happy now, and she's playing again. And Thatcher's out in the living room playing. So hopefully we can get a podcast done before he comes back and joins us. So I showed you my Sorel sweater. I just want, like, the yoke on it was so addicting. It's a relatively easy pattern. It's just tedious. Yeah, so I mean, you kind of have to slog through it, but it's not hard at all. It's just time consuming. So I got the yoke done. I split for the sleeves. I went ahead and knit the sleeves because I just did like 5 rounds, I think, with the first color, and then I did the contrasting color for the cuff on the sleeve because it fades, so I wanted to be able to use color A to fade, you know, down further without running out on it for the sleeves. So it has sleeves now, and now I finished color A, and now I'm doing color B, and so now it's just straight knitting for the rest of the body. Yeah, so I have 2 more colors left. I'm going to try to knit it. I usually knit like 20 inches, I think, under the armpit, because I'm bigger. I like my sweaters a little bit longer. So I'm going to try to get 10 inches out of each color, and then that should be good. And then I'll do the waistband in the darkest color. So that is my Sorel sweater. Now that I'm to the boring part, just the plain knitting, I'm kind of over it. I mean, I'll finish it, but it's just all the fun stuff is done, literally. So now it's all just knitting for 20 inches. Yeah. That said, I cast on another Garter Stitch project. So obviously I'm not sick of just plain knitting for miles because I cast on a 100% Garter Stitch project. I was watching Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works. I was watching her podcast, and of course I'm in the middle of the row. I'm going to try to slip them so that I can show you. And she was talking about how she's super into marling recently. And so she's hosting a marl along. So if you don't know what marling is, it's kind of a weird word to say, but it's M-A-R-L, and it's when you hold 2 strands of 2 different colors together. So in that Sorel sweater that I showed you, I was holding the dark purple alpaca and that lighter color, and so it gives it, I don't know, kind of a marled look. I don't know how else to describe it. The colors are kind of twisted together, but they don't blend together per se. So Amy had knit a Garter Stitch rainbow blanket, and I think she'd said she'd intended on making it a baby blanket, but it turned out huge, so she was going to use it for her, and I loved that idea. So I went through all of my scraps. I have a bunch of I'm gonna sneeze again. I have a bunch of mini skeins, and then a bunch of just leftover, you know, half skeins or quarter skeins or tidbits from projects that I've done. So I'm doing a rainbow blanket, so it's going to be completely Roy G. Biv. And so I started with the red, and I just pulled out all of my reds. This is in my baseball bag from Whimsy Stitches. I think it was 3 years ago now. I went to the San Francisco Giants Stitch and Pitch with some girlfriends from the knit shop here, and so it has my little San Francisco Giants baseball on it, and it's clear, and it's just got baseball stitching on it. And again, it's from Whimsy Stitches. And I like the fact that it's clear so you can see in it And I'll open it. And it has a handle, which I love on bags. But yeah, I just have leftovers. These were from socks, as well as mini skeins. Yeah, just the randomest leftovers. And so what I'm doing is, once I segregated all of the colors, I laid out all of the reds, and I'm going from darkest to lightest red. That way it's not, hopefully it won't look too choppy. It'll look more like the color just transitions from dark red to light red, and then it'll transition into the orange. So I laid out from dark to light, and then I took a picture of which ones I was going to use in what order, because that way I could just throw them all back in here and have them all together without having to figure out each time which one was the next little ball I was going to use. So right now I'm holding these two together, like that. This one's almost more pinkish, and this one is left over from that sweater I just knit, the Susaru sweater by Hohi Locatelli. I did it with this gray mohair and this red right here, like that. So it's fun to be able to recognize what projects I use these for. However, once they're in the blanket, you won't be able to tell. So I cast on, and it's just like this. Like that. And it's 140 something stitches. In my head, I thought I'd cast on like 200. And so I made what I thought was a super long tail, and then I started casting on, and I realized real quick I wasn't going to make it to even 150. So it's 140 something. It doesn't really matter. It's still way wider than me, so it'll be cozy on our lap. I have one knitted blanket that I made. It's a mitered square blanket, and Tim always steals it. So I thought if I made a second blanket, we each could have one. So I'm aiming to make this 6 feet long. I think once it's stretched out, once it's off the needles, it'll be like 4 feet wide maybe. But I'd like it to be 6 feet long, which means I'm doing 6 colors, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, yeah, purple. So if each one is 6 feet, then it'll be 6 feet long. So I think I can get there. This is probably 6 inches now. And I still have all of this red left. So, yeah, I think I have enough of each color. If I don't have enough of a particular color, I don't mind winding up a skein to be sure that I get the 12 inches of each color. So, yeah, so this is just if I'm knitting outside with the kids playing, I take this out there because I don't have to look at it. I can put it down. If I drop a stitch, it's not a big deal. I can fix it really easy. And yeah, so that is my Garter Stitch marled blanket that I'm doing. So, okay, so there's like so much of the string. Okay, my last project, of course, is another new cast on. And I cast on for the Sunset Highway sweater. So, I don't know, last week, hey bud, are you coming back in? Last week when I finished my, was it the scissors that I finished? What's wrong? You want me to fix it? I finished the sweater that I was knitting last week, and I figured I kind of just wanted to cast on all the new sweaters. Hold on, let Mama get it. Okay, there you go. Take it outside, okay? Oops. Okay, take it out to the couch, please. Take it out. Watch out for the, hey bud, watch out for the tripod. Okay. Can you take it out to the couch? Thank you. Thatcher he's not allowed to have a lot of screen time. We just, with COVID, started introducing maybe like 20 minutes of screen time, but he likes to take my phone and watch the videos of himself on my phone. So I don't mind that, especially right now with the COVID and with being stuck at home. It's totally fine. At least I know what he's watching is age appropriate, and sometimes we're letting him watch YouTube recently, but he can open like all the ads and everything. So then he has like 50 web browser page opens for these random crap ads, and he gets really frustrated because he can't get back to YouTube. So I bought a couple like Leapfrog DVDs to let him watch. This is getting rambling. But anyways, he's watching videos of himself on my phone right now. So, okay, Sunset Highway sweater. Again, this is my Stella and Plank bag, which I absolutely adore. It's got black bears on it, and it's pink, and it has like gray tweed at the bottom, and it's a drawstring. So it has handles, and I think it is super cute and fun. So I was in a cast on all the things mood this week. I still have 2 more projects that I picked out yarn for, but I didn't cast them on because realistically I don't need to have 10 projects going. So my Sunset Highway sweater, it is a colorwork sweater. Let's see if I have a picture of it. And so again, I'm trying to use stash yarn. So, okay, well here's the sketch of it. It's like that, so it's super pretty. I'm gonna make it short sleeve so it won't have the color work on the sleeves, but it'll be like that. I'm using yarn from Stash, and so what I picked out, okay, this is gonna be the main body, this one. It's hedgehog sock yarn in the color Banana Legs, and I've had this in my stash for a while now. I have 3 skeins of it, which is not enough to do a whole sweater for my size, but it's enough to get like 85-90% of a sweater done. I might be able to get a sweater out of it, I don't know, but I don't want to test fate and then run out. So the body is going to be Banana Legs, and then the color work, oh, I forgot one. Oh, the color work is these 2 colors, plus I have like a cream colored with specks of neon in it. I want to say that one's hedgehog too. So it'll be these plus this, and then the 3rd color is cream. So I think that'll be so fun and so springy, even though it's summer. But yeah, and it uses all stash yarn. So I will show you. I didn't get very far because I was working on my Sorel sweater. I just really wanted to finish that yoke. So this is how it's knitting. It's a sweater. This is the front. It has short rows in the back. So this is the back. And short rows in the back just make the sweater sit on your body better. It makes it so the back neck is up higher, and then it can scoop down here in the front without trying to pull everywhere or in every direction. So I just started the color work. You can barely see it. It's like that. Mabel's fussing. But yeah, I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm excited now that I have finished the yoke on the Sorel sweater. I think I can dedicate more time to this guy because it's going to be so pretty. I'm debating if my gauge is too loose. I'm doing it on a size 4. I think the pattern calls for a size 5, but it's still pretty loose, especially once I get to the color work. Which is funny because in the pattern, it even said you could go up a needle size for the color work, because a lot of people do their color work super tight and they have to go up a needle size. I'm debating going down a needle size. So we'll see. I'm going to keep going on the color work before I decide what I want to do with it. Hold on, let me go get her. Okay, 3rd time's a charm, right? Let's hope. Okay, she has a diaper change. She's happy now. And I went and got the 4th color to show you. It's actually dyed in the wool. The color is Watch Me Whip. So it's gonna be these colors. Will that be fun? I love it. I love it. Yeah, so that is my Sunset Highway sweater. Okay, that is all for my projects that I'm working on, and I did get some mail this week. So let me put this basket down and I will show you what I got. Okay, there's going to be a little bit of crinkling, so if you're wearing headphones, beware. Okay. A friend of mine, Susie, who is Apron Addict on Instagram, she was having a huge de-stash sale. I'm not sure how often she does them, but she has super good prices. So I wanted to support her. Excuse me. And I hate to say I wanted to get some new yarn because I don't need it at all. But I wanted to get, she had Desert Vista Dye Works, which I don't think I've ever used, even though I had some in my stash and I got rid of it because it wasn't the colors that I was interested in. So I bought some from her, and then she had some, excuse me, she had some other skeins that I really wanted. So I'm going to open the Desert Vista Dye Works one. She packages them super cute in these little, whatever they are, bags. Okay, so hold on, I'll do it quickly. Okay, so I got two Desert Vista Dye Works, and they're both sock sets. So it's the self-striping with the gray. This one is Rainbow Exterminate, and I think that's so fun. And then this one is the one I really wanted. It's Desert Vista Dye Works, and the colorway is Romantic Sky. So it's got Stellina in it, it's pink, it's got the black. I was never really into pink, I don't think, until we started doing foster care, and we've had so many girls. We've only had 2 boys, and Mabel is our 8th kid we've had doing foster care. So we've had 6 girls and 2 boys. Only one of those girls was over the age of 3. So everybody else has been under 3, and they've been, you know, they came dressed in pink and sparkles and tutus and whatnot, like everything that you think of with a girl. And so it just kind of made my mind flip to liking pink because of all these sweet girls that we've got to take care of. So I'm gonna have a lot of pink in my stash, but definitely like the blue and the green outweighs the pink. I do like purple, so I thought, why not buy some more pink? So I'm super excited to add these to my stash. I want to cast them on, but I have so many socks in progress right now that I think I will wait until these can be more of the main focus, and I should finish the socks that I have going right now before I can cast on either of these. It's funny that they're totally like, this is super girly and sparkly, and this is super like denim jeans, and I don't know, I love them both. So I got those 2 skeins, and then, okay, I'm going to open this other package, so it's going to be crinkly. Huh, I just realized that I got 4 skeins from her. All 4 of them are sock sets, so they all have the contrasting and mini. So this one I got, it's from Lolo Did It. The colorway is, it doesn't say, does it? Oh, okay, maybe they're individually, oh, that's what it is. So the orange is Blazing Sevens. I have no idea what that means. And does this one have a tag? This one is Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy, and I love that one. I love, like, anything with this neon chartreuse green just gets me. So yeah, so there's that one. And then this was the one that I really wanted. This is Beehive Yarns, and I have never knit with their yarn before. The colorway is it's Double Trouble. The colorway is Audrey. Look at that. Look at these speckles right here. Oh, I'm so excited. What am I going to do with it? I have no idea. Probably not socks. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I feel like with self-striping, it needs to be socks. Otherwise, the stripes are kind of lost. But with yarns like this, I mean, this could go in a sweater. It could go in a shawl. I don't know. We'll see. But I will add all 4 of these to my stash. So I'm super excited. So it's these 4 that I got like that. And they were all destashed, so they were way more affordable than buying directly from the dyer. I love supporting dyers when I can. It's just, I could never have bought 4 skeins from a dyer. So I feel like this is a really good value for what is in my price range. Yeah, so, okay, that is everything I have that I have worked on this week, that I received in the mail this week. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about what is going on, but I forgot to say at the beginning of the episode, thank you so much for watching. I'm really glad you're here. Sorry I'm saying so much. I appreciate everybody who has stopped by, everybody who has stuck around through this long, and I really just, I love recording these videos and imagining myself hanging out with all of you. So, yeah, it sucks right now because, you know, we're in the time of COVID, so even if we were friends, you know, in real life or in person, we still couldn't hang out. So, I love watching podcasts. You know, if the kids are sleeping and I get a minute to sit down on the couch and knit, I usually turn a podcast on because I just feel like it's having a friend in the room, you know, and like you're just talking knitting. Which most of my day is talking not about knitting. Yeah, let's just say that. So I love watching podcasts, and I hope you guys like watching this one. I really appreciate you being here and you sticking with it. So if you don't want to hear any life updates, then feel free to move on to watch the next thing that you want to watch. If you do, we'll talk life updates. Not a ton has happened in the past week. It's been super hot, so we've been hanging outside pretty much all day. Our backyard gets a lot of sun from like 11 to 3, so we try to get out in the backyard in the mornings when it's before it gets too hot and too sunny, and then we usually go out in the backyard in the afternoons, so after naps. So we've been spending a ton of time outside. We put a twin bed outside, and so we have an outdoor bed, which has been so convenient for just hanging out on it. I can put the baby down on it, I mean, as long as I'm right there, but she has space to kind of roll around. Otherwise, I'll lay a quilt down on the lawn for her, you know, and she can play on the quilt. And that way I don't have to watch her so vigilantly because she can't roll off the bed. So, we have chickens. We lost a chicken. One of them died this past week, I think. The chickens are on the side of our house, and they have a gate that keeps them in their yard, and that keeps the dog in the main backyard. And so a lot of times we'll have to put the dog away because the kids are out, and so if the kids are out, we let the chickens out. So they're used to coming in the backyard and playing. I'd put them all away, and I'd let Houston out because we were done for the day, and I hear him barking. And so I go out to see what's wrong, and a chicken has jumped over their fence into the backyard, and he has it. And so he, I guess, had been playing with this poor chicken and threw it on the lawn and was barking at it because it wasn't playing with him anymore, because it wasn't dead, but it was limp. So he was mad that the chicken didn't want to play anymore, which breaks my heart because he so innocently just wanted to play with the chicken and killed it in the process. And then the poor chicken, I hate to think of him suffering, or her suffering. So, you brought my phone back?
Phone back.
Yeah, phone back. So, I picked up the chicken, I put it in their coop, you know, to see if it would kind of bounce back or if it was too far gone. And Tim was going to look at it when he got home from work, but by the time he got home from work, it was dead. Come here, bud. Look, do you want to talk to the iPad? We're talking about our chickens. What do you want to talk about the chickens? He only slept for an hour today instead of his normal 3 hours, so he is super grumpy. What? Watch Thatcher. Okay, we'll watch Thatcher on the phone in a little bit. We're talking to the iPad right now. Can you say hi, iPad? Hi, iPad. Thatcher is teething. He's getting his back molars. And so...
Coffee.
Yeah, Mama's coffee.
Mama, drink it.
Mama, drink it. Okay, look, Mama will drink it. So good. Okay, we're going to set it down right here because we're talking to our friends. So yeah, so he's getting his back molars.
And
Yeah. Do you get teeth medicine? What? We'll turn it off in a minute. Yeah, Mabel got her first tooth, so that was exciting. Does Mabel have a tooth? Yeah.
Tooth.
She has a tooth. She does.
Tomorrow.
In her mouth, you're right. Do you want to tell them about your chickens? Do you catch them?
Chicken.
The chicken?
Get the water.
You give them water. Do you give the chickens food?
Chicken.
Yeah. Do you feed them?
Feed them.
Yeah. Do we scoop it out of the big bin? We go scoop, scoop.
The big.
Yeah, and then we dump it. You're right. Okay. You gonna stand right there?
Or how you?
What? We'll watch more in just a minute. What? So, sorry, this is like... Okay, hold on. Mama's getting it all over the place. Oh, the battery's gonna die, bud. The battery's gonna die.
Okay.
Okay, go take it on the couch. Okay? Take it on the couch. It's too loud for in here. Okay? Are you watching Mabel laugh?
Yeah.
Okay, go sit on the couch and watch it. Okay. Yeah, we got a bunch of apricots off the tree in the backyard, so we canned those up, ate a bunch of apricots. That was fun. It's finally, the garden stuff is starting to come in, so we've been eating a lot more from the garden. Tonight we're having lettuce wrap chicken salad. Oh, Tim and I are doing keto, and so keto is high fat, low carb with like moderate protein, I guess. And it's what I did 3 years ago. I lost about 50-60 pounds when I did, right before I did IVF to conceive Thatcher. And then I got pregnant, and then after pregnancy I was breastfeeding and I gained it all back. So now it is time to lose the weight for good this time. And so keto worked before. And I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it is kind of like the cousin to diabetes. So I'm at a very high likelihood that I will get diabetes. When I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes, so I had to take insulin and watch my sugars and all of that. So that said, keto is very good for diabetics and for people with PCOS because it severely cuts out the sugar and carbs, which are two things that diabetics really need to watch. So my doctor here recommended that I speak with a diabetic counselor just to see like what we can do to prevent me getting diabetes. And so that really, it kind of just hit a nerve and made me decide that we're going to go back on keto, and we will see how keto does before I consult with a counselor. So I just want to be able to say this is what I've done, and is this something that's sustainable? So anyways, Tim and I are doing keto. I'm down 12 pounds in 3.5-4 weeks. Yeah, I think yesterday was 3 weeks because we weigh in on Sundays. So we've been doing that. So we've been eating a lot from the garden. So yesterday I roasted a chicken. So tonight we have the pulled chicken off that, and I will make it into a chicken salad. And we have some huge romaine lettuce leaves. So we're just going to wrap it up in that and have lettuce wrapped chicken salad. Yeah, so the garden is going crazy. We have a ton of tomato plants. My goal, okay, so here's my goal. When we lived in Arkansas, we lived on a homestead, and so we we raised our own meat. You know, we had rabbits and pigs and goats and chickens and turkeys. And then we grew a lot of our own food. And Arkansas, the garden did not do nearly as well as here in California. Here we just have such a good growing season. we're right on the coast, like we can walk to the beach, and so the fog, we get the fog in the mornings and then the fog burns off, and so it doesn't get too hot, nor does it get too cold in the winter. So we have such a good growing season here. So since we can't be raising all of our own meat in the city in this little postage stamp lot that we're on, but we can, raise most of our own, or grow most of our own veggies. So my goal eventually is to see if we can grow all of the vegetables that our family will eat in a year on, where we are now. So I'm starting with tomatoes. So we have not a huge garden. Our garden is kind of like tucked in every little nook and cranny in the yard that I could get it in. So there's nothing's tilled, there's no row crops, there's nothing like that. It's just anywhere we had a fence, we have a garden. Anywhere we had a pot, we have a garden. So like in front of any windows in the front yard, we planted beds and have gardens. So I've kind of tucked it, and squirreled it away here and there. But we planted tomatoes, beans, peas, squash, zucchini, pumpkins, broccoli, lettuce, spinach, celery. What else do we have? Strawberries. I'm sure I'm missing a ton. Peppers. We have jalapenos. We have bell peppers. We have hot peppers. We have snacking peppers. So we planted a ton this year, and this is our first year really gardening. Last year was more, we had just moved here, and we were tearing up the yard. There was like this old pond in the backyard, so we tore all that up. So last year we didn't really have a garden going. So this is the first year we're kind of just seeing what grows. And so far everything, except the peppers, is growing really well. So tomatoes. I might have 15-20 tomato plants that we planted, and I want to see how many plants it takes to be able to grow all the tomatoes that we need for an entire year. So I planted a few different varieties, but most of them are the San Marzano, I think is how you say it, tomatoes. So they're good. It's a paste tomato, so it will be really good for canning. So with all the tomatoes that we have, obviously we're going to eat them. I want to can, like stewed tomatoes and tomato paste and make ketchup, and just all of our tomato products. I want to see if I can grow it, and then if I can preserve it, and if I can do it in a way that is more keto friendly, / less sugar. Commercial ketchup has so much sugar in it, and even though I don't eat commercial ketchup, Thatcher does, and I hate giving him, sugar laden ketchup. So if I can grow it and can it, and there's like a ton of flies in here all of a sudden, and have a year's worth of tomato plants or tomatoes, put up, that is my goal for now. And then next year, we'll add a year's worth of whatever. So I planted a ton of tomatoes and then just a few things of everything else to see what grows. So that is our garden. We've been spending a lot of time out there. We also have, like one of those typical kiddie pools, like the blue ones that everybody has, and Thatcher has been playing in that. But then we had we had a big like galvanized stock tank. And originally we'd had it in the front yard to collect water, that fell from the gutters. Our house has really old gutters, and so the gutters don't do anything. So there was one like low spot in the gutter, so we put the rain barrel or the stock tank underneath that to catch the water. And then we got chicks, and so we emptied out the stock tank, and the stock tank became our brooder, where we had the heat lamp for the chicks, and we raised them in the garage in the stock tank. And now the chickens are excuse me. Now they're out in the yard, and they're not in the stock tank anymore, so the stock tank, we cleaned it out, and we were going to put it back in the front yard, except when we were cleaning it out, we realized Thatcher loves to play in it with water. So we fill it up with like maybe a foot of water, maybe a little less, and it sits outside on our deck, and it warms up. So by the time, after he wakes up from his morning nap, or his only nap, he can go out and the water is semi-warm. the water in the little blue pool gets super warm. Almost, not hot, but almost too warm to like put your feet in and just splash around. It gets warm. So the water in the stock tank gets perfectly, it's warm but not too hot to play in. So we've just kept that out on our deck. It looks super rednecky, but whatever. Thatcher loves it. And I can just put him in it. He's always in it when we're outside. But he just splashes. And since a stock tank has like super high walls, so most of the water when he splashes is contained in the stock tank, which is nice because we're not wasting a lot of water by him splashing. So that is pretty much everything we've been doing. Lots of time outside, lots of knitting time outside. I think Mabel fell asleep. But yeah, we've just been hunkering down, staying home, knitting and playing with babies. So that's enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed the little glimpse into our lives. Sorry about all the interruptions with crying babies and toddlers on phones and whatnot, but it is what it is. It's better than not recording a podcast. So thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you next week, and I hope you have a fabulous and happy week. Take care, guys. Bye.